Welcome back, creative minds. In today's After Effects tutorial, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the Mask Interpolation Panel. This powerful tool allows you to take full control of your masks, creating smooth and seamless transitions that will elevate your motion graphics to the next level. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced user, this tutorial will unlock new possibilities for your masking techniques. So let's jump right in and explore the incredible features of the Mask Interpolation Panel. Here in After Effects, let's create a new composition. And I'll make it 1920 by 1080, 2997 is good. And I'll call it Mask Interpolation Panel. In here, I'm just going to type two numbers. So say 1 and 2. And you know what? I think I'm going to make them a little bit bigger so that we can see it better. And this is fine. Now, in the timeline, I'm going to right-click the layer. I'm going to choose Create and then Masks from Text. And now I have the layer called 1-2 Outlines. I can delete the text layer. Select this one layer and press M for mask. I'm going to move both masks so they are one on top of each other. So I'll select the first one, then Control or Command T. I'll move it to the middle. And then I'll select the other one, Control or Command T, and I'll move it to the middle. And I am pressing the Shift key as I move it, just to constrain the movements to horizontal. Now I'm going to keyframe the first mask, and I'm going to copy the mask path of the other one. And now I'll paste it onto the mask path of the one. And now I'll delete mask 2. And what I have is my interpolation. 1 turns into 2. If by any reason I don't like this interpolation, I can go to Window, Mask Interpolation, and the Mask Interpolation panel opens up. This is what we're going to be concentrating in this lesson. So let's go ahead and have it as a floating window. Press and hold Control or Command, click on the panel name and drag it out, and now we have a floating panel. So here we go. Let's just say that we don't like this interpolation. You can actually select the mask, and I'm going to change this to maybe red so that we can see it a little bit better. And I am going to change this transparency to none, only so that we can see the interpolation, what's happening. Notice that this is the first vertex. As we interpolate, follow it. Look what happens if we change where the first vertex is. If you press the letters J and K on your keyboard, you see that your playhead is navigating in between the keyframes. So I'm going to select this second keyframe, and I'm going to select this 1 point, just the 1 point. See how the first vertex is a little bit bigger? Well, I'm going to select this 1 point, and now I'm going to go to Layer, Mask and Shape Path, Set First Vertex. Look at the interpolation now. Do you see how different it is? And we can actually change the first vertex on both of them. For example, I can go to the first keyframe, and I can select this one, and I can go and I can select this vertex point, and now I can go Layer, Mask and Shape Path, Set First Vertex. And now I can change it on the second one. I'll select this 1 point, Layer, Mask and Shape Path, and Set First Vertex. And look at the interpolation now. Do you see how much better it is? So this is part of what the Mask Interpolation panel is doing. The first thing that we see here in the Mask Interpolation panel, if you hover on top of where it says Keyframe Rate, it says specify the keyframe rate in keyframes per second auto to match composition frame rate. This is how many keyframes we're going to get. In this case, we're going to get 1 keyframe per frame. So this is just $29.97. Once we hit apply, you're going to see a ton of keyframes in here. The second one is keyframe fields. If we had interlaced video and we wanted to keyframe the fields, After Effects lets you do that, and instead of being $29.97, it would be twice as many. So we're not going to do that. Use linear vertex path allows the vertex points to travel along curve paths. So if we deselect this, don't use linear vertex paths, we can select both of the keyframes. They need to be selected, hit apply. Look at the interpolation now. Do you see how the points are like bouncy? Let me change this transparency to add, and let's just play the timeline. It's just bouncy. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And now use linear vertex paths, and I'll hit apply again. Look at it now. It's not bouncy at all. So I usually leave this on. Let's go to the next one, bending resistance. The vertex matching method makes decisions based on the resistance of the shape to bending and stretching. So let's undo, so all the middle keyframes go away, and let's change the bending resistance to 0. Now we hit apply. Look at the interpolation now. Not much difference. Okay, let's undo, and let's change the bending resistance to 100. Hit apply. Look at it now. Do you see how it's not bending, it's not stretching, it's nothing. It's so rigid. The 2 just grows from the 1. That's it. So the bending resistance, it's really exactly that. Will it look like it's bending or like it's rigid? So undo it, and I'm going to leave it at its default 50%. The quality is anything below 100, it's any pair of vertices can be a match. All right, so any 2 can be a match. So this is lowest. These interpolations are so small that it won't make a difference. But if you change the number to 0, then first goes to first, second goes to second, and so on. This is much faster. So I don't think we're going to see much of a difference, but I'm going to change it to 0. I'm going to hit apply, and there you go. And no, I don't see much of a difference. I'll undo, change it to 100, apply, and it's almost identical. These are such easy interpolations, and besides, we already changed the first vertex, so it's not making much difference, but I have had interpolations in which this did make a difference. So I'm going to leave it at its default 50%. The next section is add mask path vertices. This usually helps because you can't guarantee that the 1 has exactly the same numbers of vertices than the 2. So maybe one has more than the other. What this does is that every 9 pixels, that's the default value, it will add a vertex. So if we hit apply, look how many vertices we have. Look at that. This panel added a ton of vertices, making the interpolation easier. All right, so I'm going to undo. How about if we don't add mask path vertices? So I deselected here, hit apply. See it? That's a big difference. You know, let's undo that. How about if we combine this with a bending resistance of 0? Hit apply. It doesn't make much of a difference. So adding mask path vertices makes a huge difference in the interpolation of your mask when using this panel. So I'm going to change this back to 50. I'm going to add mask path vertices. The higher this number, the less vertices is adding. And of course, this is a drop-down menu. You can have a total vertices, you can have a percentage of the outline. You know, I usually find that the 9 works really well. Now let's go to the matching method. In here, you can choose the vertex matching method, auto, curve, or polyline. Let's say we choose curve. Hit apply, look at the difference. And now we're going to change this to polyline, hit apply. And it's slightly different, and I think I'm liking the polyline better. So that has to do with curves and corners, but in here we have so few curves. I mean, the 1 has none. See how everything is linear? There are no curves. And then I'm going to undo and go to the next mask. And the 2 has some, but it also has corners. So polyline works most of the time when you have a mix in between curves and corners. Use one-to-one vertex matches. It's first to first, second to second, third to third. It is very similar to the quality that we had here. So leaving this at polyline, I'm going to turn this on and hit apply. Very few differences. Let's undo that. Let's deselect it. And now the first vertices match, leave it unchecked if the outlines don't match. So I'm going to leave it unchecked and I'm going to hit apply. It says here in the tooltip that it's going to be really slow. This one interpolation is so easy that it's almost instant. And this is working out really, really well. And there you have it, folks. We've covered the ins and outs of the Mask Interpolation panel in After Effects. Now, you have the knowledge and the tools to create flawless mask animations with ease. Experiment, play around, and let your creativity run wild. Remember, practice makes perfect. So keep on honing your skills and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And ring in the notification bell to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on creating amazing visuals.